Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Design Therapy, your creative community and outlet for all things inspirational, experimental, and finding that artist within. I'm your host, Cassie Patterson, a graphic designer and creative strategist in Nashville, Tennessee. And on this episode, we're talking and diving into all things real estate with an amazing human being who has a beautiful soul and is just a good human being, hilarious in all of her videos, and a master guru real estate agent. Please give a warm welcome to Jordyn Taylor.
That was so nice, Cassie.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I should have NBA. I literally was thinking about it. I go, what music would I have with her? And I go, NBA Jam. Well, not NBA Jam, Space Jam. Everybody get up.
Good down to see. I don't know how it goes, but I'm into that.
Yeah.
I'm into that until LeBron gets on the movies. Then I'm no longer into that.
Oh.
I know, I'm just kidding. I have like this love-hate relationship with him, but I think that's a good song for me. Thank you.
I can imagine you walking down a runway with NBA Space Jam in the back. Not NBA Jam, but Space Jam in the background.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the Monstars next to me.
Yes. I feel like that should be your theme song coming into every new house for the next couple of rounds. I need to hear Space Jam.
I promise you I'm going to do that in a video for you.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm in California. I've been here since the start of quarantine, which has been like a weird, awesome change for me.
Yeah.
I'm nice and suntanned, as you can see.
I love it. And I heard you got a new Jeep.
I did. It's the cutest thing in the world. It's an 06 yellow Jeep, and it lives with the top down. So
that's like the
I'm living all my California dreams. It's nice. It's nice. How's Tennessee?
Rainy. I was telling you earlier, I was like, it's raining here, it's storming, and I might get electrocuted because it's a little intense out there.
It'll give you like some nice hair volume though. So
Right. My hair's super straight, so I could use a little volume.
There you go.
Well, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what you do, and all things Jordyn.
All right. So I guess the quick version, I'm one half of the Taylor Martin team. We're a real estate team out of New York City, but very recently expanded to the rest of the state. So we cover LA, New York, Nashville, Miami, everything across the states. Eventually we'll go global with it. And we deal in all things luxury. So we're selling you really beautiful $1 million listings across the US. And we're doing it, I think, in a very fun, creative way.
I can't wait for you to come to Nashville. You're going to have to like take me on tour with you. I'll be like, sneak me in the back.
Love that.
I'll be like, I'm here, guys. Just I'm a mouse.
There are beautiful houses in Nashville, like really beautiful houses.
It's come a long way. The city is completely different in the last like 5-6 years.
Are you from there originally?
Can you tell?
I thought it was an act. I thought it was all an act.
Y'all, no, I'm not from Nashville per se, but I am from Tennessee, born and raised. My accent was thicker than this, and I had to.
It's so cute. It's so fitting.
I tell you this. I used to be a tour guide. I was a tour guide in college. And I had a really thick accent coming out of Dresden, Tennessee, and I was 18 going on tour, and I was in front of 15, 20-ish people, and 15 minutes into the tour, somebody raises their hand, and we're like, ma'am, I haven't understood a word you've said in the last 20 minutes. Someone needs you to repeat everything.
And you're like, you, my friend, can leave the bus. Thank you.
I literally just was like, zoom. So it made me kind of work on my accent a little bit. It was a little thick, but still rude.
Very rude. I think it's a very charming accent for his information. I'm assuming it's a guy. I don't know.
It was. Okay. He was young. He was like some 17-year-old looking out of college. I mean, I was giving him a tour of the campus.
Send me his address, Cassie. Send me his address.
If he comes back into my memory, I will. We're going to hunt him down.
Okay.
Well, tell me a little bit about I know all of your videos are so different and have such a unique, different perspective on things. You bring a lot of humor and fun to your videos. What inspires you to, get into that groove, and how do you come up with ideas? I know you have a little friend, a redheaded friend that comes around with you.
The redheaded friend. So Carissa, she's been my best friend since we were, I think, in 3rd grade. So we're like one and the same.
That is
But
so
social
sweet.
media, yeah, we're really trying to utilize, I have a decent following on social media, and it's not a following from real estate, which I think is important and which is something we've always kept in mind. People follow, I originally came from a music background. So there's a lot of people that follow from that. A lot of people follow from like some of my past relationships. And so I
met you
guess
through an individual, a talent agent.
What's that?
A mutual talent agent from Nashville.
Oh, is that how we know each other?
From Desiree, yeah.
Oh, shoot. I didn't even think about that. That's right.
That was the connection.
My other little Southern belle. Yeah. So I guess like our whole mindset behind it was, how do we create something that is entertaining for people that aren't necessarily looking to view real estate or aren't looking, they're not currently on the market. And it was, how do we not, one, try to sell? Because I don't think that's our job. I've never looked at myself as a salesperson. I think I would suck at like selling. My job is to show, like my job is to show you what's out there and kind of match make you to homes. And if I can do that in a very entertaining way, in a fun way, then I'm going to. And I think social media is the greatest way to do that and to just kind of reach a broad audience. So when it comes to the videos, we kind of just cater to what each house kind of speaks to us and what kind of person we think is going to be in that home. So, I mean, yeah, so they kind of take on kind of a life and character of their own. And then the comedy part of it, we're still trying to like figure out our groove, I think is what kind of everyone enjoys, is that it's not a scripted thing. It's not, we just go in, we have a good time, and we're kind of learning along the way. We've pretty green to this. We've been in real estate now, I don't know, like 3.5 years.
Wow.
So we're fresh. Yeah. We're not trying to do it the way they've always done it.
How long have you been in your industry? You know, you said you started out with music. Like, what made you shift into this new career path for you?
I mean, not anything in particular. So I did music kind of my whole like adult life and kind of getting into an adult life. I think I started when I was like 14 years old with music. And then I moved to Japan for a little bit, and it kind of just got to like this jump point of do music and this is your life for the rest of your life, or let's backpedal and figure out what's like really going to make you happy. And so I left Japan, came back to the States, eventually made my way to New York, and it became, I was working auto shows for a little while, which I call my career sorbet. I didn't want to do anything creative. I just wanted it like an easy, fun experience, which is what auto shows were for me. And then it got to a point where I was like, I'm really loving New York City. So what can I do that doesn't force me to travel around the States, and I can kind of be here and be present and kind of figure out New York. And I had 2 options as far as I was concerned. I could go into the guest booking on late night TV, which was something I was interested in. I went and interviewed with the Colbert Show, or I could go and do this real estate thing. And the reason I even had the idea was because I was finding everyone their apartments for fun. My boyfriend at the time, myself, my friends, I was enjoying finding them cool places, and I was good at it. And so I was like, all right, I mean, of the 2, one of them requires an office and long hours, and you would think that was real estate, but it was the late night booking. And so went and got my license, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. So as a creative person, you know, how do you pull in, like, I know a lot of people think when they think of real estate, they're like, that's not very creative. It's kind of boring. Right. They're just showing you a house. It's a numbers game. It's mathematical account, like all of that. Like, how do you bring your creative soul that you have into your career now? Like, do you have like a mantra every morning? Do you come up with ideas? Like, what do you do to brainstorm to get in to push those boundaries for you?
It's really not like a conscious decision to do. It's something that like, I'm never going to be in a position where those ideas kind of wouldn't flow. And it is the people I'm around. So I'm constantly bouncing, whether it's my partner, whether it's like close friends, my dad and myself, like bounce ideas off each other. So I think everyone knows, especially now, what the vibe is with our business. And so we're constantly getting ideas. And I do like I was telling my partner today, I was like, it's crazy how many people now are coming to me like, you've inspired me to start real estate, and I love that. Like, I love that people that would never think to go into a selling position or like more of a business industry are thinking, oh, okay, it doesn't have to be this boring experience.
Mm-hmm.
And Carissa, my partner, comes from fashion previously. So bringing that into real estate alone, just bringing like really fun, cute outfits instead of, business wear and office wear, instantly kind of puts you in that mindset automatically. Like you're already thinking a little bit more fun. You're thinking, you're not looking at it as a sales position.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Is it more like a lifestyle experience? Because I know you have like an immersive, you do a little bit of modeling too. And, your on camera experience and all of that, you're bringing so many different facets to it. It's more of like a experiential design, experiential immersive environment.
For sure. I think it helps that, sorry, my dog might start begging.
You can bring your dog on. Oh my gosh.
He might come. Parker, come here. No, he's like,
nope.
No.
Got camera shot.
He'll only come here if he's not allowed to. So,
well, you're
please
not
don't come over here.
No,
Parker. Yeah, it's definitely immersive, both for myself and just what I'm doing, and for our clients. We try to make it like really fun. We work in luxury, so we try to make the entire experience from start to finish very luxurious, very fun. We have friends in so many different industries, and we're all constantly doing things for each other, which helps because, they happen to be a big fan of this television show. Well, hey, as a closing gift, let's make sure that they get to be in the audience at that show, or whatever it may be. So it's whether it's winning clients over or just making sure that they have the best time working with us. We do try to make sure it is very immersive, very experiential.
Does your environment affect any of like how you approach things? Like, I know from you've been in different cities and like where you're selling, how does that lean into what you're trying to provide for these clients and provide a home and value?
It's a huge thing, because depending on if I have a New York buyer versus an LA buyer, there he is.
Hi,
Stop
Parker. Come here.
He's looking at us with so much attitude. Parker, no more. That's okay. So like a New York buyer versus an LA buyer, they have completely different lifestyles. And so we do try to kind of bring in a little bit more of that vibe. New York's going to be, and not incredibly different when it comes to what people want, because no matter what, at the price point we're working at, luxury is luxury. So the difference is, you have to be joking me. I'm so sorry. Parker, that's enough. No more. The difference really is, obviously their fashion choices are going to be different. And then just lifestyle experiences. So like with New York, we're walking them to apartments. We're training them to apartments. We're cabbing to apartments. Whereas here, it's all, you're spending 80% of the time in a car. And in my case, there are some instances where we go, I have a really great connection with a car company, like a Porsche company. So they'll let me take out a Porsche, but a lot of times you're in my Jeep now.
Yes, that's the best way to go.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had anyone disagree with it yet, but I do think one great thing about, kind of, we gain so many of our clients through social media is they know exactly what they're going to get. So they're not really expecting this like uptight Cadillac. Like they're not expecting that experience, which works in our favor. And it works in theirs, because there are people that are going to want a little bit more uptight, a little more sneaky when it comes to like a sales vibe. And you're just never going to get that with us.
Yeah. I love it. It's a new perspective.
Yeah. It's fun. I'd go crazy if I had to be that buttoned up.
I mean, I feel like a lot of like creatives, we all have to have like an outlet no matter what industry we're in. And all the people that I've talked to, we always find a way to incorporate that somehow, either in like our daily life or even into our career, if we're in a box or a cubicle or something,
Right. You have to.
Yeah.
You'll go
So
nuts.
my favorite questions, I know that you get into every bathtub that you go into for every place you go. What's your favorite bathtub?
My favorite bathtub?
Can you remember?
I mean, does this count? The other day, I'm sure you saw the Joshua Tree Mirror House. I don't know if you've seen that episode.
Yes. I saw you go swimming.
Of course. So I got in the bathtub, but I also got fully clothed into the 100-foot swimming pool, indoor swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a bathtub.
I can't. It's a bathtub. It's inside. It's
Exactly.
lukewarm.
Exactly.
Bathtub. So if I had to say, it would be that one. But I do enjoy every bathtub.
I love that.
I don't discriminate against bathtubs.
I have a swimming pool out here at my complex. So when you come to visit to Nashville, you can get into my soupy swimming pool.
Perfect. I'll bring an extra set of clothes. I always like regret it when I don't bring a second set because there are some pools where I'm like, I just want to get in. And I always get in fully clothed, obviously, and usually professionally dressed.
Oh, yeah.
So I just need to bring a second pair of clothes every single time. So I never have to debate.
You'll have to bring a second pair of clothes here to Nashville because it's hot AF and you sweat through everything. So
okay, good to know. No makeup.
Yeah, you just don't. I think this is the first time I've put makeup on in a couple of days, and I was like, it's cool. It's cool.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. Sometimes, sometimes it doesn't work. It's too hot. It breaks.
Oh no.
I had that happen last year. I just bought my condo last year, and everything that could go wrong. Thank you. I feel like an adult, real adulting here.
I love it. Yeah, of course. Your first purchase, everything goes wrong.
Oh, everything.
You got to learn.
And it's not that many square footage. I'm like, how can this many things break in a small place? Gosh.
It's just going to happen.
I know. Well, tell me, what are some, artistic influences that, influence your career? Do you have any inspiration from other people that kind of drive, your message and what you're trying to convey?
I mean, obviously, I think the people I'm surrounded with on a daily basis, but if I'm thinking of people outside of my circle, no. I mean, short answer, no, because I don't think anyone's doing what we're doing. Yeah. But I mean, obviously like the $1 Million Listings and any other real estate show does it does set the precedence for the fact that people do like to be entertained with beautiful homes, which seems like a given, but maybe I wouldn't have thought that had I not known about these shows. So perhaps something like that, but an individual.
Are there any real estate, developers or architects or anything like that? I know that, what's that wood house out in Pennsylvania that's from the 1920s?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Oh my gosh, my art history teacher would be so mad at me now.
Lincoln's Log Cabin? No. No idea.
I'm going to have to look it up and
is it a famous log cabin or a famous wooden house?
It's a famous house from an architect that pieced together wood with joints without any screws or nails or.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up right after this call.
I am blanking. Man.
I'm about to go get it. I'm going to go get a tour of it.
I failed. I'm sorry. I failed you.
Well, it's my industry. I failed you. I should have known.
Oh, well, how do you stay motivated in your job? If you're out there producing all of these videos and it's, kind of more of in the moment individualized for those specific places, how do you stay creative and not let it get stagnant?
I think a lot of it has to do with feedback. Social media allows for instant feedback, which is awesome. And just seeing how much people are enjoying this and seeing that it's working. The fact that these videos are getting us clients and are getting us listings, and being at the forefront of it is really inspiring to ourselves. Just knowing that what we're doing is working is the biggest reward. I can't imagine that stopping anytime soon. And we just happen to be fans of the places we go and see. It's exciting still to go into a $10 to $30 million place. And they're so different that there's no way we wouldn't be inspired just by the places themselves. We're going to go see this really cool place. I don't know when this airs and I don't know when we'll be done with this, but it's called an Earthship, and it's a completely sustainable house in New Mexico.
Wow.
I know. We're excited to see. I try not to do too much research of it beforehand because I want to really genuinely give you what I see when I see it. But from what I've seen, it's really epic.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm going to have to look that place up.
Oh yeah. No, you're going to you got to wait. You got to wait until the video.
Okay. Oh, I'm
impatient.
Send it to you
first. Don't worry.
Okay. Do you have to take your shoes off in all of these places? I know that's kind of a thing. Or do you have to wear slippers? Do you have to wear cute slippers everywhere you go?
Not all the time. I mean, New York will have you kind of do that even before the whole pandemic started. You'd have to go in. We always wear heels when we can, especially now. I miss high heels so badly. But there'd be places that would give you like little booties, or you'd have to take your shoes off. Outside of New York, though, I don't think we've really had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are a lot more lenient when you get out of the city. I take them off when I'm doing my videos just because to make it a little bit more stable. I always go barefoot. But not because we have to, which is nice. But there are beautiful floors. So there are instances where I'm like, you should have us take our shoes off.
Yeah.
Now's the time. During COVID, everyone should have to glove up, shoe, booty up, mask up.
Have you had to change your tactics with COVID? It's such, a prevalent thing for all of us, and we're all dealing with it. Have you and when you're going into these places, what are you having to do? Are you having to change like what your approach is?
Not necessarily. There's extra steps now. So I think depending on what state you're in, you're going to have different forms you have to fill out. It changes so often. The laws behind showing and real estate change pretty rapidly. So we just kind of have to stay on top of that. There are instances like New York City for a while, the buying agent, which is what we are most of the time, wasn't allowed in with the client, which is difficult because you can't really gauge, their likes and dislikes if you're not in the room with them. Mm-hmm. That was difficult. And then for a while, New York itself was completely shut down. You couldn't show at all. Yeah. So we've had to but thankfully we've kind of been ahead of the curve. Like Chris and I have been doing these like very casual walkthroughs for people before COVID started. And so it was just a matter of like amping up our turnout of these things, which now we have the time. We have nothing but time to do that.
Yeah. I love that it's changed like a perspective of a lot of people. We've kind of had to shift in so many different ways, and being able to adapt is like such a key.
Oh yeah. And everyone says like and I can understand why you wouldn't be motivated during this time. And I'm sure there are so many jobs where you can't do anything about it. But in a creative job or in a job like something with real estate, if you're pressing pause right now, you are not taking advantage of the pivot that a lot of people are taking advantage of. Like, so with us, like we've only amped up our workload during this time, which I mean, obviously we're very blessed to be given that opportunity, but it has a lot to do with us just deciding to take charge and deciding to figure out, okay, well, we can no longer do this chunk of our job. What can we now pivot our time to? And that's social, and that's online, and that's content, and figuring out TikTok, which is, I don't get it.
I deleted it. I was like,
did you delete it because you didn't get it, or because of this like scare about security?
Security got me.
I get it.
I was like, you know what, China?
Not today.
Not today. You're not going to get my information.
Yeah. It's scary. I don't know what to believe on the whole thing. And I already like am such an old person on the app that I'm like, what's the point?
I'm the same way, and I stick to where I feel good and I feel comfortable and I feel confident in. And I definitely agree with you about COVID. It's like taking advantage of this time. And a lot of people that I've talked to have changed those tactics. I know for me, I'm a full-time designer and art director and strategy and all of that. And I had to take a shift of like, what is really like making me happy and my passion. And interviewing people like you and interviewing people that I've already had come on the show is like sharing stories. And I had to kind of shift my focus from doing it like 110% design. And I've shifted it to doing some stuff more that fuels that creativity and fueling that content. And I feel like a lot of people are trying to take advantage of that and really figure out what's best for their business, what's best, for themselves, and like what helps, create a better, happier life during lockdown.
Right. For sure. And I think that how unsure we are of the future of this thing.
It's scary.
It's so scary. So you do have to kind of be prepared. Like, we don't know how much longer this can last. California, we opened up too early and now we're back to lockdown. So it's
So were we. We were one of the hot
Tennessee
spots.
Was really open, huh?
Oh, we were. And now we're a hot spot. It's because nobody else knows how to wear their mask, and it's crazy. And you just wear your mask. It's not hard. It's like, what is it, 80% stopping the virus from spreading by wearing your mask, even if it's like a crappy one.
Yeah, really?
I think it's 80% of you. If everybody just wore their mask, it would stop it a little bit more. So
yeah, it just seems like such an easy thing.
You know, you think it would be common sense.
Yep. Shame.
Wear your mask, people. We advocate for it.
Wear your mask. There's cute ones too. They've come up with so many cute masks.
I know. I tried sewing mask my first month and a half, and I sent it to a bunch of nurses, and then I was like, I can't do this. I am not a fashion. I was like, I can sew, but I can't sew like this. So I stopped.
We need to get you a machine.
Do what?
Yeah, no. We need to get you a little sewing machine.
Oh man, it was hard. And I sewed probably about 60 masks, and I sent them down there. I did it in a week. And I was like, oh, I'm going to order mine. So I ordered 3 more. I was like, I'm not going to even make one for myself.
Oh, that's epic of you, though. Well done.
I tried.
Well done.
So with all of this, like, what are some obstacles that you face with your career? You know, like, what are some challenges that you see on a daily basis, you know, despite what COVID has kind of like put us in?
Right. Yeah. Outside of the obvious with COVID, different parts of the job have their different barriers. So I would say when it comes to just real estate alone, there was like deciding to do things a little differently. There's definitely like there's a learning curve for sure. Mm-hmm. And there aren't a ton of people that willing to give you the tips and tricks and, you know, whatever.
Every industry,
everyone looks at it as a competition. Right. And that's why I've really made it a point when people come to me like asking for advice and they want to start, like I really do take my time to kind of guide them as much as possible. I mean, every journey is different, but I try. Outside of that, like when we get more into the entertainment side, we've been, you know, we were approached several times by $1 Million Listing New York, and it just didn't work out every time. And they never chose a female. And so I think there's still this barrier. Women are the leaders in real estate, and there's so little representation of that, which blows my mind.
That's in a lot of industries. It's even in design.
Definitely.
It's a male-dominated industry, you know?
Oh yeah. You look at $1 Million Listing, it is all white men. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm neither of those things. So that's kind of, you know, it's disheartening, but I do think, I mean, we are firm believers in like everything happens for a reason. And I do think that we have something in the pipeline that is so much more us than, you know, $1 Million Listing. So we're working on that kind of on our own. And then there's difficulty there trying to sell someone on 2 females doing real estate. This is our idea, because it is already such a convoluted, like there are so many shows now about homes and fixing homes and selling homes. And so it's just trying to figure out what our niche is there. What's so different about us that is alluring to, you know, the public.
What are you doing to help advocate for women and to help change that platform? Like how do you implement that in such an industry that's hard to like break through for like male being the forefront of it, you know?
I wouldn't say I'm pointedly doing something to change that outside of, you know, pushing ourselves as a show. When it comes to women, I'm a huge advocate. I had a series for a while on my Instagram that was Women's Wednesday, and I really highlighted a bunch of epic women. Thank you. But I always try to encourage women to succeed in whatever industry they're in, and however I can help, I'm always down and ready to do that. As it pertains to entertainment industry within real estate, I don't know where I can help just yet. Maybe it is being at the frontier of that. But I don't know. I haven't really I haven't brainstormed too many ways to do that. Thankfully, like behind closed doors and within our own sales and things in our own markets, women are killing it in real estate.
That's awesome.
So it's not in real estate that women need help. It's in the representation of real estate on, you know, in entertainment. So we'll see. I don't know. Thankfully, like you said, there's one in LA. There's one female.
There's one female.
Yeah.
Tracy, yes.
Good job, Tracy.
She's killing it. She's killing it. Good. She's helping pave that way for women at the forefront.
And that's what it's going to take. It's just going to take eventually it's going to get there where people are going to start, like, I think people are already demanding to see more women on TV in this wave, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
So you said that you have a show coming out. Can you tell us a little bit about your show?
I can, to an extent. It's not a show we're still shopping it. So
sneak peek.
What our idea is, and I'm sure this will like grow and change, but as you know, we're one of the few teams that is able to work in every market in the States. And I think that's something we really want to show to the world. We want to be able to show you not only $1 million listings in LA or $1 million listings in New York. We want to show you what that money does for you in every market across the States. And I think it'd be interesting to kind of, Chris and I being, the consistent factor and just going and showing beautiful places and kind of showing our lifestyle. And we'll see whether that's a short or a full length or we don't know. We have no idea what it's going to become, but we're excited. We're excited to kind of create that and brainstorm it right now.
I can't wait for it to come out. I will be like with my pom-poms.
You'll be on it at some point, I'm sure. We'll show you things in Nashville.
Yeah, y'all. I will have some Daisy Dukes and cowboy boots for y'all.
Perfect. So will we. We're going to be in that as well.
Yes. Broadway is where it's at. Once it's safe, though, for sure, because people are still acting crazy down there.
Oh, there's a Broadway in Nashville. I'm like, what do you mean Broadway?
Broadway.
Is that the main street?
Yeah, so it's like where all of the country music is, and you see everybody
like the triple-decker music venues.
Yes, and the party buses. Have you heard about those?
No.
Girl, oh my gosh. We have something called party buses, and not only are they like buses converted into like these, they take everything out so that you can dance around and drink and someone just drives you around town, but we also have tractors.
No.
I'm going to send you a picture. We have tractors. We have a green one, a red one, and they have a trailer behind it of hay bales that people are on, and they are drinking, and you're like, oh my gosh, please don't fall off. I mean, they're not moving fast.
So is this a thing where you like rent it out and it's you and your friends, or is this just a bunch of random people on a tractor?
You mostly rent it out, but sometimes it can be randos on a tractor.
This reminds me, I went to, I think it was Stockholm. I think it was in Sweden. And they do this thing around graduation where they put a bunch of graduates in a trash truck and let them just get wasted.
Basically the same concept.
I love it. I love it so much. I think yours probably smells a lot better, but who knows? At this point, a bunch of drunk people.
Questionable. It's on another level. You think that like a lot of people here, like a lot of locals were like, we're against cowboy boots. We're against, cowboy hats. We're not country at all. We're not. But everybody who comes here think that's the image that you should portray. So when you go downtown, you're like, what is this?
Oh, that's funny. So it's the tourists that do it.
Yeah, it's all the tourists that do it. It's not the locals. Like, it's actually like we have a good fashion industry here. We have a good photography industry. Like, we are pushing the bounds for creativeness here.
Right.
And when you go down to that one little hot spot in Nashville, you're like, there we are, y'all, Nashville.
It's a bunch of New Yorkers in cowboy boots and cowboy hats. Awesome. Good to know. Okay. So avoid doing that.
International people too. Like, they come here, they're like, we're with the cowboy boots on. They go to the cowboy store and they're like, I want the biggest belt with the belt buckle.
That is so funny. I guess, where else?
I mean, I guess it's no different than going to New York and you're trying to get a Liberty Crown and go to Times Square. So
exactly. Going to Paris, wearing the beret, like.
Right. You have to. You have to. If you're going to be a tourist, you might as well. So we embrace it. So if you come, we'll definitely have to take you on a party bus downtown.
Awesome. I would love that. I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Nashville twice before. I used to host a show on MySpace back in the day. It was called the MySpace Music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the best. One. It was the best. And I interviewed, was it Carrie? Yeah, I interviewed Carrie Underwood at the Grand Ole Opry one time, and it was so cool. And that hotel is the coolest thing I've ever been into. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a resort. It's just like a stay away from it, like in a different world out there.
Yeah, it's insane. But I never got to experience like Nashville proper.
Yes.
So that'll be your job, Cassie.
On the bucket list. We'll take you on a tractor trailer. Live it up.
Honestly, that sounds so fun. If I don't do a tractor trailer in Nashville, what have I done in life?
You haven't done anything. It's fail.
No, that sounds so fun. Once this is done, I can't wait to just do like a tour of the States. Mm-hmm. Anywhere that will allow me in, I'm coming.
Yes. Well, you're welcome here.
Perfect.
Well, tell a little bit about, some advice that you want to give to everyone, especially those who want to start in real estate or changing their careers from, one industry to another. What advice would you give to people?
Honestly, the best advice, especially with real estate, you have to stick it out. Yeah. It does take some time for you to get your feet wet and there's a lot to learn. And one thing I tell everyone, you do all this schooling. There's like so many, depending on what state you're in, there's so many hours of school you have to put in. Mm-hmm. None of that matters when you actually get onto the field. You learn everything on your first deal. And even then, like, it does take a lot of, this industry is about, I guess, like, what's the word for it? You constantly have to like, not evolve, I guess, what's the word? A lot gets thrown at you. And so you have to always be ready for different things, different problems, adaptive. Thank you. There's a lot of problems that you're always going to be around different personalities. Mm-hmm. So you just have to be willing to, bend and like go with the flow and be honest about not knowing everything. I think that's a big one too, that I had to learn the hard way. And just get a good support system and just know that first year, I think there's some crazy stat about how many people drop out after a year in real estate. Wow. And yeah, it's hard. It's not an easy job. And I know we make it look a lot of fun and like it's very easy, but it did take a long time to get there. And there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There is a lot of work that goes into it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. And that's definitely so prevalent for any industry, like no matter what, you have to be adaptive and be flexible and learn, because we don't know everything and we're going to be learning till the day we die, and we have to be humble about that. And I love that.
Oh yeah. And it's a collaborative job. So another big thing, I'm sure, like most design things are, most creative things are, a lot of agents don't look at it that way. They look at it as very competitive, but
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be collaborative in so many facets.
It should be. I think the deals get done so much quicker and so much more seamlessly if you look at it as a collaboration, as opposed to like, this is my side, this is your side. So if you look at it that way and just look at like forming great relationships with agents and with clients, and just keep a good vibe. That's the biggest thing about it.
Make friends.
Seriously.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on and helping us learn a lot more about the real estate industry and about your journey. I'm so appreciative, and you're such a beautiful person inside and out. And
you're wonderful, Cassie. I appreciate you bringing me on.
Yes. And, tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, heart you.
You can, I think the best way is my Instagram. It's instagram.com/JordynTaylorNow. So at JORDYNTAYLORNOW. And then from there, you have access to our YouTube, to my Twitter, to my email. Call me. Yeah.
Yes. And you have to share us a picture of Parker.
I will. I absolutely will. He's a 125-pound Great Dane.
Oh my gosh. I thought it was a little dog.
Oh, no. He thinks so. He also thinks he's a little dog. Yeah.
That's adorable. I love that. Well, thank you again.
Thank you, Cassie. Well, I'll see you on a tractor.
Yes. We're going to have like a live of us honky-tonking it down on Broadway.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us on this episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, heart, and follow all things The Design Therapy. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you later. Bye, girl.